Hi, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody is safe and well and healthy. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about some more common errors, and then we're just going to talk about the rest of the semester going forward, because there is barely any semester left, really. So, okay, first, common errors. And if you'll open up the document that I shared with all of you, the Google Doc document, you can follow along. First one. Wrong or missing verb endings. This is a common error amongst writers of your level of experience. Let's take a look at the two examples. First, Eliot used feline imagery throughout the poem. That, of course, should be Eliot uses feline imagery throughout the poem. Second one, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan in 1945, which of course should be the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan in 1945. Next, wrong or missing prepositions. All right. First, we met in Union Street in San Francisco should be we met on Union Street in San Francisco. Nixon compared the United States with a pitiful, helpless giant. Should be Nixon compared the United States to a pitiful, helpless giant. And finally, who called the game yesterday should be, in this instance, who called during the game yesterday. Now, all of these sound pretty simple, and they certainly sound like they shouldn't be errors in your essays or in the essays of your peers. But this is what happens when people proofread their essays and see, again, as we've talked about, what they think they wrote rather than what is actually on the paper. All right, so you need to find ways to read when you proofread your essay, which, as we said, is the final step. When you proofread your essay, you need to find a way to read what is actually on the paper, not what you think you wrote. And after we're done going over the common errors, we will talk about ways to do that in proofreading. There are some tricks you can use that might help you, and we'll talk about that next week when we're done with all the common errors. Next, number 13. This is a mistake that we've talked about that I've found in many of your essays, the comma splice. The comma splice is when you have 2 groups of sentences that could stand alone as sentences, and they're simply fused together with a comma. The comma splice can be fixed 3 ways, and we're going to see that here. First, westward migration had passed Wyoming by, even the discovery of gold in nearby Montana failed to attract settlers. The easiest way, the simplest way to fix a comma splice is to just break up the 2 groups of words into their own sentences. Like, westward migration had passed Wyoming by, period. Even the discovery of gold in nearby Montana failed to attract settlers. Okay, very simple. You just break them up into 2 sentences. Next, I was strongly attracted to her. She had special qualities. Another way you can fix a comma splice is to replace the comma with a semicolon. I was strongly attracted to her, semicolon. She had special qualities. The semicolon joins 2 groups of words that can stand on their own as sentences. And finally, she is a friendly person. She has no patience with children. The last way you could fix it is by using a conjunction. And I hope all of you went and watched the Conjunction Junction cartoon that I gave you the link to last time, because it's really cool. So this would be, she is a friendly person, but she has no patience with children. Okay, so you're just linking the 2 groups of words with a comma and a conjunction. All right, let us pause for a moment for your attendance question. This one you can find with a simple search on the internet. I want to know, who is your representative in the U.S. House of Representatives? Who is your congressperson, your congressman or congresswoman? your representative in the U.S. House of Representatives, and what district do you live in? All right, if you find the representative who represents you in the U.S. House of Representatives, the district that you live in, that information should be right there with that person. For example, my representative is Rosa DeLauro. I live in the 3rd District of Connecticut, the Connecticut 3rd, as it's sometimes, that's how they're referred to sometimes, you know, the New York 5th, the California 12th, you know. So the name of your congressperson and what district, what congressional district in Connecticut do you live in? Okay. Next, missing or misplaced possessive apostrophes. Drives me crazy when I go around seeing apostrophes being used wrong, especially when people are using them. They attach an apostrophe S to a word because they think that's making it plural, and it's not, and it drives me nuts. So, missing or misplaced possessive apostrophes. Let's look at a couple of these sentences. Over-ambitious parents can be very harmful to a child's well-being. Right? That is not, if you look at the word child's, there is no apostrophe. So that is not the possessive form of child's, that is the plural of child's, which should be children, actually. So that's another reason that it's wrong. The sentence should be, over-ambitious parents can be very harmful to a child's, apostrophe S, well-being. All right? And in the next sentence, Garnet Hill is pleased to announce its spring white sale. That is the wrong it's. That is the contraction it is made with an apostrophe. So the way this sentence should be written correctly is Garnet Hill is pleased to announce its spring white sale, ITS, no apostrophe. That is the possessive form of its. Okay? And the last one for today, and then we're just going to talk about some class business. The last one for today is unnecessary shift in verb tense. The English language is really cool because it gives us the ability to reference any point in time in a sentence with different tenses. And people who learn English as a foreign language, as a second language, will tell you that may be the most difficult part of learning English, is learning the different tenses, because other languages just use one tense, okay? So, you know, we can say, I will have had given you your homework. You know, by next Tuesday, I will have had given you your homework. Will have given you your homework? Will have, yeah, I blew it. I got that one wrong, but you know what I mean, okay? If I could be standing in front of you writing on a blackboard, it would be much easier. By Tuesday, I will have given you your homework. That's it, okay? But that tells you that I'm referring to a time that takes place before Tuesday. You see what I'm saying? So I'll use that tense and you know exactly when I'm talking about. All right, so I will have given you your homework. I will have any. All right, here we go. So the first sentence is, Joy laughs until she cried at that episode of Seinfeld. Should, of course, be Joy laughed until she cried at that episode of Seinfeld. Both are just the past tense. Kathy is in charge of finances. She will always keep her office locked. She will always, that's not terrible, but it's easier just to say Kathy is in charge of finance. She always keeps her office locked. There's a subtle difference in the meaning of the two, all right? So you need to use the correct tense for the sentence you're writing, and you need to keep the tense constant in your essay so that the reader always knows when you are talking about, right? If you are writing in the present tense through your essay and then suddenly you shift to the past tense, not because you're referencing the past, but just because you suddenly shift, it won't make any sense. And that's why we have to do these things, so they make sense, so the reader can understand it, so you can convey your thesis. Remember, that's still your one job. I told you in January that was your one job. It's getting towards the end of April, still your one job. Convey the thesis. And the best way to do that is to be clear. Okay? All right. So let's go over some dates going forward, because we have this week, which is over because today's Friday. When you watch this, it'll be Friday. We have next week, we have the week after that, and then, you know what, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Let me see. Calendar, okay. Here we are on the 23rd. We have next week, which will end on May 1st. We have one more week of class. The following week is finals. So we will not have a final exam. We will have essay 4, basically. I had planned 5 essays. We're not going to get to 5 essays because, you know, circumstances being what they are. But we'll do your 4th essay and that'll be it. Okay. So going forward, essay 3 revision is due on Wednesday, the 29th. All right. Wednesday, the 29th of April. If you need to see me before then, I am available to talk to people. I'm already talking to one person on Monday, but I can fit more people in if you need to talk to me. If you got your graded copy back from essay 1 and you don't like the grade you got and you want to revise it one more time for another grade, that will be due by Monday, May 4th. Monday, May 4th is the last day that I will take re-revisions of graded copies of essay 1 if you want to revise them for a higher grade. If you got a graded copy of essay 2 and you don't like the grade on essay 2 and you want to revise that again, the last day I will take that is Friday, May 8th. All right, Friday, May 8th, last day for essay 2. I will accept graded copies of essay 3 if you want to revise them again for a higher grade. I will take that on our final exam period, which will be Wednesday, May 13th. Our final exam period is in the morning, but I will accept papers up to 6 p.m. All right. So obviously you haven't gotten essay 3 with a grade back yet because you haven't handed them in yet. But when I hand back essay 3, if you don't like the grade, I will accept revised copies. If you want to revise it for a higher grade, I will accept those up until our final exam period, or our final exam day, Wednesday, May 13th, and I will accept those papers up until 6 p.m. Essay 4, which I'm going to assign next week, will also be due on our final exam day, Wednesday, May 13th. I will accept those up till 6 p.m. If you are planning, or if you think you are going to have to hand in an essay after our final exam period, you must see me for permission to do that. You must see me for permission to hand in an essay after our final exam day of Wednesday, May 13th. If you do not see me for the permission, I will not accept late papers after May 13th at 6 p.m. Unless you have made a prior arrangement with me, I will not accept papers after May 13th at 6 p.m. Okay, just so we're clear on that. Talk to me. I'll be happy to talk to you and go over your situation. But if you do not have permission to hand in any paper after May 13th, I will not accept it. If you email me on the 14th, okay, I said May 13th, right? Yeah, May 13th is the last day. If you email me on the 14th and say, oh, I forgot to hand this in, I will not take it unless you have made a prior arrangement with me. I have to submit your final grade by May 20th, which is a week after our final. That's when I have to hand in your final grade. I will not accept any papers from anybody for any reason after May 20th, because by May 20th, your final grade will be computed and it's done. Okay? So if there's a problem, if there's a conflict with any of that, see me, talk to me as soon as humanly possible. All right? A couple of you I've already talked to, but you know, if there's any doubt in your mind over when you'll be allowed to hand in those papers, email me and let's talk about it. All right? So questions, problems, if you have to email me about late papers, as always, there's the email address and your attendance question also to that email address, please. And that's it. Okay? So get those SA3s done by Wednesday. And any questions, any problems, email me. If I can't answer your question by email, we'll talk on the phone or on Skype. All right? And hopefully I'm going to trim my beard this weekend. Trimming the beard one, hopefully that'll be done this weekend because I am really getting Santa Claus-ish, you know? Okay. Have a great weekend. I will see you all on YouTube on Monday morning. All right? Bye.